Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shoulder Tap. Today, I, Jack, am joined by Ben, risk manager Ben. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing well, Jack. Very happy it's Friday. Happy we got some more playoff basketball. The Mavericks are up 1-0 against the Timberwolves, and we're going to go up 2-0 tonight. So looking forward to that game and a fun weekend.
Hell yeah! Speaking of hell yeah, I'm seeing in the chat we have news that we're giving away 200 free resets for the top quiz today. So
Nice.
that's something. Just try not to bully me or Danielle into doing that in the future. I'm gonna take down this pin real quick. Okay, there we are. So we have that out of the way. Thank Danielle in the chat. So Ben, what's going on today with the funded traders?
Yeah, it's been an exciting day and an exciting week for that matter. We've got a lot of action in the live accounts today, and happy to go over some of those highlights. I know for those that were watching earlier, the house account hit that DLL. Dakota also hit his DLL. I think that's one of the hardest things to do coming off a massive winning day as a trader is to manage trading the next day, try and be objective. Dakota had a really good overnight trade in the crude oil markets, then came in and he was short in the Nasdaq, and ended up sizing into that back up to 30 lots, similar to the trade yesterday, and it didn't work out today. We were just talking about that in the green room, Jack. In day trading,
Yeah.
what worked yesterday is not guaranteed to work the next day, and you know. Lots of kudos to Dakota and the fantastic trading week he's had thus far. A little bit of a heat check happens from time to time. That's part of being a high level trader. And I know he's spoken about that. In order to be comfortable with a 30K winning day, you have to be comfortable with bigger losers too, because that's what comes with it. That's part of the risk side of things.
Well, I think what's nice from a risk side, and you mentioned that you weren't able to watch this morning, but Dakota was saying that he took that trade from his phone actually. And what seems could be, sort of a crazy thing, we do have the auto liquidation, right? Like you're never flying completely naked, so to speak, with Topstep in a funded account because we're going to liquidate you just like any prop firm if you hit that loss limit. So the risk is always in for I think his DLL is what like 9 grand or something.
Right. Yeah, 9,000. And that DLL is so important, because we don't cap your upside. We want you to make as much money as you can reasonably. And we cap that downside. Our risk team is monitoring the live boards, all day long, and we help keep people in check. Reach out if they're up a lot of money, try and help them lock that in. If people are on a losing streak, we might reach out as well, say, hey, what can we do to turn this around? So that's part of the benefit of being in a live account is you have access to that risk team. We're looking out for not only the company's capital but also yours. We want to see you guys succeed and make money in live markets. So tough day for Dakota. We have some big winners as well, though. One of our traders, Brian P, who's also a Rhythmic live trader, he's up $13,500 today, which is really big winning day in the live account.
Yeah.
Brian, he scaled into 15 lots long in the ES this morning. Got in right around 53.08. He was scaling in over an hour or so, and ended up selling out fully at 53.23. So really nice trade to the long side on the ES. So shout out to you, Brian, and Nick for a tick is also up about 2 grand. He's been trading a good amount, primarily from the long side in the equities, ES and NQ. It's up about 2 grand. He's traded 69 contracts today. Not sure if he's locking it in for the day or if he's going to continue to take some cracks at it. But a pretty good day on decent trading volume for him. And Jordan Sabu, I believe is how you say his name. He's an influencer that's trading with us at Topstep. He's got a live account up a cool 2,500 today as well. So Jordan, if you're in the chat, shout out to you. Also, and Chris Chris R is up 7,700 in his live account. He's been sitting at that P&L for a while. So some big numbers on the live boards. Love seeing that. If it wasn't your day and you took a loss limit or even a small loss, shake it off, go into the weekend, and that's what the pros do. I know that's what Dakota's going to do. He's going to refresh and come back ready to rock next week. So big shout out to the live traders today who were up. And we've got some trading cards we can go over as well. Some interesting traders to talk about if we want to pull up the card for Benjamin M.
Let's do it.
Sweet. So we just called up Benjamin yesterday. The decision was made to call him up to live. He's actually got three 50K XFAs that we're calling up at once. He was copy trading those 50K XFAs. Ended up with started trading with us in the year 202. No, that's a typo. 2020 he started with us, and yeah, trading those three XFAs, and he's doing so from Passaic, New Jersey. We've got a lot of New Jersey traders. Maybe something in the water there, but lots of traders
There's
get called up
definitely
to live
something in
from
the
New
water.
Jersey. There's definitely something in the water there. um, but trades a pretty diverse list of products, everything from equities to energies, metals, and even the 30-year bond that I know you're keen on, Jack. Yeah,
I'm
so
a man after those
ESNQ,
bonds.
yeah, a man about his bonds. So lots of different asset classes. I know we've talked about that before. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into managing your trades across asset classes like that because of the different market hours, different news events that affect these products differently. There's a lot to be aware of. So anytime someone can do that successfully, particularly over a good period of time, Benjamin's been in these accounts for 30 days, 30 trading days completed. So not a tiny sample size, and has a 90% winning day percentage, which is really fantastic. Averaging $363 P&L per day and 90% winning days. That's bringing home the bacon. That's a nice salary for yourself that you're taking home trading. And again, you can multiply that times three because it's across three of those XFAs. 68% winning trades with a per trade win loss of $96 on the winning trades to $60 on the losing trades, about 1.5 to 1 risk reward there. And 11 trades a day, two contracts per trade. So doing some decent volume. 11 trades a day is not nothing. Something I really like seeing was the $4,200 for total payouts. He's taken three payouts in the last 30 calendar days. So that's what you get when you have a high daily win rate percentage. Your average P&L is above that $200 mark. You can pay yourself really consistently. Pay yourself three times in 30 days is fantastic. It took a total of $4,200. So taking consistent payouts, something we really, really like seeing, and tells us that you value your money, and ultimately you'll value the money that Topstep puts in your hands in live markets. So love seeing that from him. And he's ultimately going to have a total of $18,700 in the live account to work with. So that's a pretty good starting balance for a 50K account. And I'd recommend just starting out slow, easing into it. A lot of people think they need to trade large size as soon as they get into live for some reason. Just take it slow, take it small. That's what's gotten you here, and continue. Those win rates that are pretty high. Um, best winning day of 1,600 compared to 1,100 on the worst losing day as well. So really, all the stats look excellent. Something else fantastic that we saw from Benjamin is walking away at daily P&L highs. If you're looking at that trade report, Jack, you'll notice over and over again the closing P&L is the same as the P&L high for the day. Automatically, that tells me very healthy trading habits, trading behaviors, and big checks in this trader's favor, and we wanted to call him up to live for sure. So as far as an area he could improve or something he should strategize about going forward, I think is game planning for how he can get larger on his best trades. I don't want that to be misinterpreted. It doesn't mean tomorrow you triple your size or even double your size. You need to create a game plan. You need to talk to yourself and plan out how I'm going to identify what my best trades are, when I traded my best, and how can I, either take larger size at the beginning or size into that trade, or maybe hold it a little bit longer. Figure out how you can amplify the P&L on your absolute best trades. I think that's the next step for Benjamin catapulting himself into a higher daily P&L, higher monthly P&L. That's what we want to be able to see. So always room for improvement, but he's trading very well, and it's definitely going to be exciting to watch in the live markets to come. So anything that you saw here, Jack, that stood out to you at all?
Well, I'm having trouble opening the trade reports right now, but I'm going to guess that because his winning day percentage is 90, that he's probably traded 10 days.
No, actually 30. 30 trading days
30.
completed.
So,
So,
okay. So, but with that, so 27 winners and three, as we've talked about before, 30 is that number where things start to become statistically significant. So that's good. I guess if you have 90% winning days, it doesn't really matter as much. Obviously his average losing day is pretty significantly bigger than his average winning day. But if you're really doing 90% winning days over 30 days, that is impressive. So good show there, Benjamin. Shout out to New
yeah,
Jersey.
yeah, especially when you consider those different asset classes. Trading a lot of different products that are very different, to take home 90% winning days. Really, the key to that is when you're up money, walk away, and that's what we saw from walking away at those P&L highs. Not trying to go for, I'm at 1,500, let me make 3 grand. I'm at 3 grand, let me make 5 grand. That dragon is always going to be there, and you can chase it forever into your daily loss limit. Ultimately, is what happens when you really start pursuing that side of the equation, that greed side of the equation. So, like I said, very healthy trading behaviors, and we're loving it. Happy to have them in the live account here shortly.
Excellent
But
stuff. Okay, who else we got here? We got a second card,
yeah,
and
let's
then
move
we'll take
on.
some questions from the chat. It's Friday, hang out.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So Chow Wei L, trading with us from Hong Kong, over in China, trading equities, the Nasdaq and the Russell. Uh, Been with us since 2023, and taking home a pretty considerable 1,100 bucks average daily P&L. 75% winning days, but we don't have quite the sample size with just this trader that we did with Benjamin. Only 12 trading days completed in this account, but very profitable trading. And ultimately, if you're taking home a lot of money out of markets, we want to put you in a live environment. We want you to get there. So 56% winning trades, that's kind of middle of the road. But when you consider the 2.3 to 1 risk reward that this trader's pulling in on a per trade basis, that's really fantastic. Anything north of 50% and 2 to 1 or better is awesome. I know, Jack, we've talked about this. It probably sound like a broken record to people, but those numbers will kind of reach an equilibrium as you get more and more data in trade days. But again, when we see something like that and have this level of this amount of data, which is not exactly what we dream of, we have to consider other factors like what are the other trading behaviors looking like? Are you walking away near P&L highs? Are you taking home some, racking up a nice P&L and then hitting your daily loss limit? What do those day in and day out behaviors look like? And thankfully, we saw really healthy habits there. Best day being double the worst day, so that daily loss limit has been hit before, $3,000, but the best day that they've taken home is 6,000. So that tells us you're not afraid of a big winner, and you can take those home, walk away with it. It's taken 2,400 bucks out of this XFA already through one payout, and not taking a huge volume of trades, only 3 trades a day, and averaging about 2 contracts per trade. So the other thing we like is seeing hold times in the hours, multi-hour hold times. When you've got a really good risk reward ratio, and I'm not sure if you have the trade report up for this one, Jack, or if there's a bug on that one as well. But the longest trade durations, we're talking 5 and 7 hours, are on their best winning days. The
Hmm.
$4,000 winning day, the $6,000 winning day, those are happening on multiple hour long winning trades, and they're not taking losers. They're putting on 1 or 2 winning trades, holding it, riding it out to whatever that profit potential is, and cutting it and calling it a good day. So love seeing that. That's patience. That's planning. It takes a thought out plan really, and profit targets, and giving that trade room to breathe and confidence in your analysis to let trades play out over that period of time. So um, love seeing that. Not a lot negative to say. I can't even come up with a really strong area for improvement, other than dance with the one who brought you. Too often I see traders who traded very well in their XFAs, and for whatever reason, that move to live can either get to their head, or they think they need to do something differently. Maybe they were copy trading, and now they think they need to double or triple their size to make up that difference. You're in the big leagues. You're in the live markets. You are trading real capital against other real live market participants. That's amazing. That's a skill that will translate. if you want to continue growing in your trading career, even beyond Top Step, you're going to have to do that in live markets. You can't be a sim forever trader. That's just not the way that this works. At least if you're going to be
Yeah.
very profitable. So yeah, happy to see that from Xiao Wei, and looking forward to how they do in live markets. Anything you want to say about this one, Jack?
Yeah, sorry, I freaked out there for a second because people were saying the stream was down, and, yeah, that'll get my attention sometimes, but it appears we're
Imagine
good
so.
there. What I was gonna say about Xiaowei is, like, trading's math heavy, and I bet a lot of you folks in the chat out here already, are aware of this, but, something like survivor bias, and sometimes we have cards on this show that I don't I don't say at the time, but it's like I'm kind of thinking that there may be a little bit of survivor bias going on here, and that you have enough people doing something, and somebody's gonna have 90 something percent winning trades or something. Um, but as we talked about, it's not sustainable. What I love about this card is the 3 trades a day for 2 lots average, and also just the winning trade percentage is right. Like that's very, very doable. So
Definitely.
I think that this
Yeah.
could be sustainable. Best to you going forward, Chow. And now, Ben, unless you have anything else on this, I thought we could just kind of take some questions about risk management or Top Step from the chat,
Yeah. I'm
or
I'm
I can
excited. Let's
argue
do
with
it.
people saying that the stream is down.
Or
But
argue with the chat.
yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions about how risk management works at Top Step, and I did say 2 lots. That's what we always called them. Ben, I don't know as much about your background, but have you traded? You've obviously traded, but were you ever at a prop shop or anything like that?
No, I traded briefly with Topstep before joining Topstep, and that was kind of the trading success that I've had was trading stocks and options primarily for a couple of years. Right around when COVID fell out, that's when I learned about trading, and options were the leverage side of things was what attracted me, and options are actually way more complicated than futures in my opinion. I kind of did it ass backwards, so to speak, but yeah, I love futures. I call them lots as well. I think that's the correct terminology. Contracts is also technically correct, but lots is just a little bit easier, and you'll be more widely understood if you're saying lots relative to contracts. So that's my take. But yeah,
Yes, someone said lots came from the floor, but it's also at least the time I was never on the floor. But of course, anybody that was older than me when I started there had been at some point, so it kind of transferred the lots and some of those things on there. Um, Hearing that the stream might be a little slow. Well, I'll figure that out. Can't do anything about it now. But yeah, I mean options are complicated as you mentioned compared to futures, especially if you're trading the index futures. Things like bonds and some of those things can get a little complicated because of the yields. But
right.
yeah. So someone asked, Amir asks, what happens if you hit your XFA cap before hitting 5 days in payouts for payouts?
That's a good question. That will happen every once in a blue moon. We're sort of skeptical of those types of traders because rarely is that their first account that they're attempting that at, and we don't want lottery players in live accounts if we can avoid it. So typically that kind of tips us off. But every once in a while, you just strike iron while it's hot and run that balance up. So we have, without disclosing too much, conversations with those traders, whether that is talking about where their cap is at, adjusting risk parameters, moving them into live accounts. It's infrequent enough that we usually have individual conversations about, how we're going to play that going forward, whether it's a little more time in sim or moving them up to live. It's kind of a case by case basis, but it happens infrequently enough to be able to have a discretionary policy there, and ultimately not something I recommend. Trying to shoot for 50 grand inside of, I guess it would have to be 4 trading days, 4 profitable trading days is foolhardy is the word I would use. So slow and steady wins this. Keeping your downside as your main focus primarily, and then letting the profits take care of themselves. As long as you have a real edge in the market.
Thanks, Ben. Sorry, I'm laughing at Wit with the bath salts comment. I won't go into that further. Um, what about traders? Let's see, who are profitable a very high percentage of days, but trade small, so that they're in the $1 to $200 range, build up a balance, but can't take payouts. I guess that's referring to the 5 days of $200+ rule for the funded accounts.
Yeah, so we have that $200 threshold for a number of reasons. That's just one of the kind of risk management, account management parameters that TopStep has more generally. It's not even risk specific per se, but there's a variety of things you can do. What I would say is if you're consistently making 20, 30, $40, fantastic. It might be time to size up the scale a little bit. If you're able to truly, you've got 30 or 60 days of data that shows you're profitable, averaging a 1 to 1 or a 2 to 1 risk reward ratio, and you're only taking home $50. The next step is to scale that up, is to move either. I don't know if you're trading micros is probably the way you're achieving that. Moving from micros to minis is a pretty big jump, but you could, if
Hmm.
you're trading two or three minis, or excuse me, two or three micros, scale that up to 4 to 6 micros. That'll be an easy way to get you over that threshold and be able to take consistent payouts. I like trading small, big advocate for that. But truly, if you're showing profitability, it's time to scale that up and clear that $200 a day threshold enough times to be able to take a payout.
Thank you, Ben. Some of these questions without MP here, I don't know how much I should go into. For instance, like how did Toss Up decide on their payout policy? Uh, by a lot of research into what worked and what didn't, and just sort of like we want to have the best payout policy possible. I think that we do compared to other places in the field, but it is a delicate balance of risk management on our part as well, Ben. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that. We'll get MP in
Yeah,
here to
I've
answer
got
that sometime.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you have to consider the fact that there's, 12 years of history that have gone into this payout policy. It's not in its final form. There's always ways that we can improve our policies, and we're going to be open to feedback there. But this has been decided, refined, tested, tried, revamped, every adjective you can think of changed for the better, in our opinion, over the last decade plus. So there's been a lot of thought, like Jack said, put into this, a lot of trial and error, and we're very happy with the payout policy that we have. We think it's extremely competitive, and always open to additional feedback if someone wants to provide it.
Yeah, we'll get MP in here to do that sometime soon. But Ben, we're coming up to the end here. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your Friday afternoon, or I guess Friday. Yeah, it is afternoon right now. I've been at this
Look
computer too long, Ben. Yeah.
at
But don't worry, I'm not
Amen.
leaving yet because I'll be in the background when we do group coaching coming up next. Ben, thanks again. Have a nice Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, you too, Jack. Thanks, everybody.